Okay, so we're going to open a can of worms here. Passive investing versus active investing. Which is better, right? This is the age-old debate. Should I be the one who's out flipping houses or raising money for deals or doing things myself and dealing with the tenants, or even if I have a property manager, doing it myself? Or should I be more passive and just be getting the mailbox money, right? Which is the name of my podcast, the Mailbox Money Show, right? Which is better? And I think it really depends on your situation. It depends on what you're looking for. And is it possible even to do both? And I would say the answer is yes, because I do both. I actively invest, I raise millions for real estate, I also invest passively, and I think I have some thoughts and tips on what you could do and some things to consider as you're looking at this debate. So I've got 3 tips I'm gonna go over. I've got a great quote for you at the end. You're gonna love it, stick around. All right, so the active or passive debate when it comes to real estate investing, which is better, right? Which is it? Is it active, is it passive? Well, it really depends. Do you have time or do you have money, right? Because if you have one or the other, it should lead you kind of a direction of where you could go. Now, not people don't always stick to this, but I have doctors I worked with for years in medical sales, and some of these guys are making over $1 million a year. And so for them, they were making so much money in their job. Their hourly rate was so high, it made a lot more sense financially just to make the money in their job and then passively invest. And that way they didn't have to deal with anything. They were able to work in their job, make the money, and deploy it. A lot of people don't know when they make money how to actually deploy it. So that's what the purpose of this show is for, is really helping a lot of passive investors understand how to passively invest and grow their wealth. So that's kind of how that works. I do have some physician friends though that have started raising money and starting doing deals themselves, and that's great. And I know some physicians, they have their medical office and they've got their investment office, and they're kind of separate, and they have been able to make it work, and that's good for them. So it kind of really depends if you have time or money. So if you have, passive investing, really the benefits of it is that you can grow your wealth without taking up your time. Now, if you don't have, let's say you don't have money, but you've got time, right? So you don't have a lot of money, but you got time. Well, you can leverage that time to go network with other investors, to go find deals, to go operate deals, to go be a part of that, and you'll help people that are busy, that have money, to be able to invest. So you can be a part of that either way. So this is what we do in active investing. You can see we invest in multifamily deals like this one. This is 330 units in Atlanta. And so, raising money or finding deals, that's a great way to start when you're active. And again, I always recommend that people start in multifamily rather than in single family. A lot of people think you should become financially free through real estate in single family, but it's very rare. It takes a very long time for people to become free. Because if you're flipping houses, it's a job. It's another job, and you have to get to such a scale, and it's not a very efficient way to do it. So all my single family friends that are doing big single family, that's fine. But I can get to 500 units or 5,000 units much faster than I could get to financial freedom with single family. So when I started, I didn't have really either of these. We talked about time or money. I really didn't have either. I had a good job, but I didn't have really much savings. I didn't really have a lot of time. But one thing I did have is that in my job, I had been a rock star rep. I'd won some awards. And so I had to kind of coach myself that, okay, I am working a little bit independently here. Nobody's kind of watching me or breathing down my neck day by day, but it was okay for me to say, I'm gonna try to get this done in 20 to 30 hours a week and be going from a rock star rep to be an okay rep, and then really try to build this over here to become really great at multifamily investing. So that's what I did. So I'd put in 30 plus hours into real estate in addition to my job. So my life situation was able to work. There are ways to shortcut that with coaching programs, other sorts of things where people give you ways to try to get there faster. But I think that's a great thing to consider. Now we're going to get into why passive investing can be helpful and why it can actually be used to help you become active. All right, so the second thing I want to share is that passive investing can be used to learn active investing, right? So you can learn about investing and how you would work with investors when you invest in a deal. If you invest in one of our Bronson equity deals, you would learn how we communicate with investors, how we present our deals, how the tax process, the tax forms work, quarterly reporting, all of that stuff you would learn about how that works. And you learn, I would do this, or I would take this from this, or I would do this different. And it's a great learning process to become active. So a lot of people that are busy, they're working a job, they don't have the effort to do it, they invest passively in a deal by joining an investor club and joining along. So, also I would let you know, I passively invest. Like I said, I do both. I currently passively invest in other deals. Well, why do I do that? I have a lot of my wealth in multifamily, the multifamily deals that we're doing, but I also invest in other people's deals to diversify. So I get some stuff out of our stuff to invest in other deals. I also do it to diversify in asset classes. So I invest in self-storage, I invest in Bitcoin mining funds, I have other sorts of things, precious metals. I invest in other things, I put my money other places so that it gives me some diversity as I move forward with that. So passive really gives you options for the future. So it doesn't lock you in, it just gives you options. So again, I think we should really all aspire to one day become full-time passive investors. So if you have no net worth, you have no resources, someday, I hope that you do. I hope that you become a full-time passive investor. At least you have the option, because what it allows you to do is it allows you to have freedom over your time, because that really you can always make more money, but you can't make more time. So as you become wealthier and wealthier, you can find ways to deploy more money and put more money into things, and then you have your time, which is really incredibly valuable to the things that you value. So when it comes down to it, really, what is the verdict? Well, Bronson, you've gotten a good conversation both ways. I don't know what to do. Well, it really depends for you what you should do. Depends on if you have money or have time, and also what your passions are. So if you want to be passive, or if you're interested in passive, that will allow you to grow wealth without taking up more of your time. You'll vet the deal, you'll vet the property, you'll vet the team, and then you receive the mailbox money, right? And it's also a way to learn. But active, maybe you want to learn the business. Maybe you want to do this yourself. Maybe you want to do what I did, where you 20x your net worth over a few years. It's absolutely possible by using the power of other people's money, right? To be able to raise money to do big deals. So again, it depends on your situation. Now, you could be like Deion Sanders, who was the famous football, baseball player in the 90s, who did both, right? He played football and baseball, and it was all this big marketing thing where I'll do both, And so, or Bo Jackson, or some of these guys that were able to do both. So you may want to do both. You may want to be like one of those multi-sport athletes, right? And there's a lot of transference from one to the other. But I want to know from you, what do you choose, or what are you choosing? Are you choosing to be more active or to be more passive? Just stick that in the comments below. I'd love to see it. And I'd love to see, really, most importantly, why. Why are you choosing to be active, or why are you choosing to be passive? So stick that below. I want to share this quote with you. I think you'll be encouraged by it. It says, 90% of all millionaires become so through owning real estate. More money has been made in real estate than in all industrial investments combined. The wise young man or wage earner of today invests his money in real estate. And that was Andrew Carnegie. That was 100 years ago, or probably more than 100 years ago. And he said that. So you think of, all that really hasn't changed in the last 100 years, right? Investing in real estate is a way to become really wealthy. If you're interested in seeing how I raised $12 million in 12 months, you can check out this video up here. It's a very compelling presentation on how to be able to grow your wealth over time and how to raise money. If you haven't joined our investment club, if you are a passive investor, go to our website. It's in the description below, bronsonequity.com. Hit the join button. We'll set up a relationship with you. If you're active, if you're somebody's like, hey, I'm an active investor, but I want to learn this process, you can join our investment club too. So do that same process. We'd love to set up a call with you. And really appreciate you taking the time to educate yourself. Look forward to seeing you on the next video.